right, hello everyone. This is Josh, also known as Yashu. You're just tuning into another episode of the TLOY Talks podcast. You can get this on all platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, Patreon, much more, and all that too. On Patreon, you could definitely check out the various tiers that we have too. Highest tiers, highest amounts of perks, and all that too. And just the basic tiers, you kind of get the basic stuff and all that too. But definitely tap that in. Definitely check out the up and coming Song Wars soon in a couple weeks and all that too. That's gonna be officially announced once this drops as well too. And yeah, man, put the push notifications on the side too, if you want any releases and much more and all that. And yo, I'm just gonna get it started right here, So we have a legendary staple in the Toronto music scene, all the way from Scarborough. Grew up at any part of Scarborough and all that, M&E and all that, Markham Road, Malvern, the West End in Scarborough and all that, to Pitfield, much more to dropped various mixtapes back in the day too. Was known it within the SLUG groups, Scarborough Loves Us, Gangsters, and all that too. That movement has been doing it from time and all that too. And I mean, we have a legend in the building today. We have Droops Holiday in the cut. How you doing today, fam?
Salute. Big up the city.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, everything good. Droops Holiday in the building.
Yeah, man. Nah, you're definitely the OG and all that too, And I think even with you're starting till now, it's amazing to see from the content and the other releases too. Because I was watching a lot of the old school music YouTube videos back in the day too. Because you had stuff from the early 2010s, 2012s, and all that too. And I definitely see the growth and effect and all that too from your connections to a lot of people with Louis V. Shooter, with Prince Beats Media and all that too. Friggin' Mad Russian and all that too. A lot of people and all that too. And you've tapped in with Young Tony, also is Hush from OVO, crazy connections, man. So
small world, you know what I mean? We try to make that love, keep that network going, and communicate with everybody. Show love, respect all.
Facts, fam. Facts, fam. Yeah, man. So yo, I mean, growing up in Scarborough, you grew up all around Scarborough and all that too, from the 80s, 90s, 2000s and all that too. So what was that growing up from the 80s until now and all that?
Back then, it was a whole bunch of different things going on. We were kids, so the adventure was just to be happy, eat food, and just live and have friends. You know what I mean? And nowadays, it's kind of the same energy, but more serious because we parents now and we live in a different life. We're not the kids no more, so
Yep.
and the vibe now is just being more grown up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, because I mean the 80s and 90s, that was a crazy thing back in the day too, because I remember there used to be a very big Caribbean influx there and all that too. Guyanese people, Jamaicans, Trinis. It was just more so small houses back in the day too, and some apartments too. So you get to notice that effect too, and then it didn't really hit until the 2002 with a lot of the changes going in from each end to each end and all that too. So it's probably an interesting moment and all that. No.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, man. And it was big for music too. I mean, because I remember they had this documentary back in the day too with Danio, Maestro, friggin' I think some Farley Flex back in the day too. I think he used to live in Scarborough and all that too.
Okay.
So even around that time too, how big was it for music back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s and all that,
In the early 80s, I won't lie, we used to listen to probably Run DMC, Fat Boys, Joy and Pain, those type of music that we grew up on. So you know what I mean? The music and the energy was more, I'll say more loving, more community. Everybody, there was no parties, there's no problems back for us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was always just listening to music and relating to good songs.
And then it led to the 90s with the gangster image and all that too, with the NWAs, the Biggies,
the Tupacs, Boot Camp Clique,
exactly, man. Smith and Wesson too. I mean, even with I think the younger days too, because I remember there's A Tribe Called Quest, Talib Kweli, all those people still spitting the rhymes and all that too. And then you have the 2000s too with the Dipset era, 50 Cent, Eminem, that was crazy, even back in those times too. And then you saw some big names popping through and all that too.
Oh, so. For sure. Back in the day, the 90s, I think the 90s is probably the best era of hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. And I think it led to even the stuff too with the clubs, with the name for the city too. And we'll dive deep more on that too. But you being Jamaican too, so being in that household, what was that growing up and all that?
Growing up, we used to listen to when I was a little kid, under 10 years old, we used to listen to, growing up, I listened to country music. Because, in every Jamaican house, they playing that on the Sundays, making breakfast. We listened to the Bob Marleys growing up, the Jacob Millers. Yeah, a lot of different genres of music I was growing up listening to. You know,
Exactly, man.
Madonna,
Pretty
like
much.
there's music out
Prince,
there.
MJ, and
You
all
know
that
what I
too. New
mean?
Edition.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, man.
Motown, like.
True. Were they keen on hip hop back in the day too, like the old heads and all that? Like, your like Rents and all that?
I think they're more into the reggae vibe, you know, like the odd Ron DMC or Special Ed or, you know, those type of artists will play. But in my household, it was more of a reggae household. When I'm at my uncle's and my aunt's house, they're more lenient. So we'll be listening to hip hop and, you know, radio stations. And yeah, we're just living it like average kid.
That's facts, man, too. And growing up, like, what were you like from like the start until now and all that?
I was this guy on a level of being serious, knowing myself, conducting myself, being a gentleman, there's a time for everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Exactly. And like, I mean, back in the day too, the high school days and all that, because I know there was like the basketball thing going on too. Like every man wanted to be like a ball player and all that too, or
Oh
every
yeah.
man like wanted to get into like sports in some ways too. So like I remember there was like times too, like with the Eastern Commerce things and like the ball teams in Scarborough too, with the Catholic ones, and then even
A lot of tournaments back in the days, you know what I mean? Sports were very much everybody was interested and wanted to be on a sports team back in the day. Not to miss class or nothing, but yeah, we're joining sports teams and getting picked and trying to win championships.
Yeah.
Cedar Brae, Midland, CI, like Stephen Leacock, yeah, teams are
Bendel and all that too.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh, it's facts. And I mean, because like I don't think like a lot of people were like keen onto like even like making music as and on like not everyone wanted to be like a rapper as opposed to like now and all that too. It's just more the sports and all that.
Yeah, because back in the day, not everybody could be a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, you had to be somebody known to be a rapper. You can't just pick up a mic one day and say, "Oh, he sounds good," but your credentials are zero, so you wouldn't blow. Nowadays, you don't need credentials. You just need a skill. He likes it. She likes it. Who you know, right?
Yeah, man. That's facts.
That's the game right now.
Yeah, man. And I mean, you had like family that made music back in the day too. Like I was like doing my research too because I think your family, like I think was involved.
Yeah, Diamond X from Jamestown. Yeah.
So like, what was that life like compared to like other people like growing up that weren't like in deep in the music, with the family like lineage and all that.
Yeah, because back in the day, you could say that's the era of Jellystone, Diamond X, JB. Like, that's a different era that kind of molded the artists to today. The Dream Warriors. There's a lot of artists that everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people noticed and maybe thought that they could do it as well, or maybe had different styles to bring to the table as an artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I think it was like more like East Coast, like leaning to, or like even like with the dancehall stuff too. So I mean, people like Biggie were like tapped in, like Smith and Wesson,
Yeah.
friggin' I think Camp click as well too.
Wu Tang, yep, for
Yeah,
sure.
man. Because I mean, Raekwon used to be in like Toronto, like back in those days too, and like I read some stories about like how I think Minstrel Black used to like be like in Buffalo for a bit too. So like those like some interesting times, with like Toronto artists like heading there, and like even with people from the East Coast like pulling through to Canada and all that. So yeah, man.
And has been making some noise, and from Toronto's been making a lot of noise.
Exactly, man.
Nothing blew up until,
Yeah.
you got artists like Tory Lanez or Drake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They started taking notice.
Exactly too. Even Bacardi singing all that too, with Cardi and all that. Like even freaking like as you said, like Jellystone and all that too. So yeah, man. As far as you getting into like rapping and making music, like when did that happen and how did you like get into it?
Got into it when I was a young kid, trying to rap. Found myself in high school, figured out how to master it. Then after high school, then we really mastered it. You know what I mean? Came up with some projects with a team. Everybody was like, you could say competitive, trying to do their best on every song. So, it was always just a grind.
So it was kind of like one of those like Rough Riders like back in the days too, where everyone had to be cutthroat to
you gotta be
get a
cut
piece.
right. You gotta be cut right to be on the team,
Yeah. I wanted to ask, like, how were like whack artists like treated like back in the day too? Because I know like with the standard of artists like being like dope versus like whack and all that too. How was it like even back then? Like if you spit out like some bars and people weren't like feeling it too, like was it like getting like kicked out the clique and all that too?
Nah, like if you one of the young boys that we trying to mold and bring onto the team, we're gonna work on him to get better. You know what I mean? We're not just gonna kick him out. You're not ready. He gonna kick himself out.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? Because you're gonna be like, I ain't on no songs, but
Because I mean those like lunch time like table like rap battles and like ciphers
For
and
sure, for
freestyles,
sure.
you know, it defined like, you know, like people making it versus, you know, people being just like more of a like household name, you know.
Oh,
So
for sure. Back in the day, the freestyles, the practicing, the battles, it was real street stuff out here in Toronto. Like that battle scene is it really happening out here.
true. And it was like more so like even like, you know, like getting people to tap in with your music wasn't more like selling CDs like out the trunk too, or like selling it like in certain stores to like, you know,
That,
like play the record and all that.
I was selling CDs out the trunk because walking around the city, getting the shit exposed, throwing it out there, trying to get it on the radio, pulling up the radio stations, try and play this. And it's really that real legwork. We in the field because it wasn't tap in and push a button and, send it there. It was real, you
Yeah.
gotta get really buzzing back then.
Yeah. Were execs like, you know, from the States like pulling through too? Like I mean, like even with like Def Jam or like, you know, Universal, Interscope, or was it more like from the Canadian like labels and all that?
On the Canadian scene, we were trying to get the plugins with the soul cans, and then from the soul can, you're trying to put it out on the. Back in the days, it was the MySpace, the Facebook, advertising your stuff, trying to go to DJs and dropping your stuff off, and trying to join a basketball team. You're looking for a scout to find you. It was hard to find a scout. A scout's gonna find you. You don't know who the scout is, right?
Yeah.
So you always gotta just try and push your stuff to everybody, so they're
And
gonna.
just
You
getting
never
like
know
the
who.
attention
Yeah,
too.
just
Yeah,
get their
man.
attention out there.
Yeah.
Put up posters, stickers,
Yeah,
like.
yeah. No, that's facts. Because like I mean with you, I think you started like, you know, like releasing like music fully either if it was like either the early 2010s or like earlier and all that too.
Right.
So like tell me more about like, you know, starting to create like music like around that time period too, because with like the YouTube and like mixtape releases too, I think that those were like dated to like way back in the day and all that. No?
That is like before it was the CD era, and the CD era was building up a couple of songs with a group of people. Like we were Camp Disciple before anything. Then after Camp Disciple, we became SLUG. Then from SLUG, turned into Droops Holiday, doing my thing, and then now we own Lane, Endangered Species. You know what I mean? We're on a whole nother level of elevating from, we just trying to get bigger and better of our craft. And who's around's around, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
A
man.
lot of people got cut off the team, but these chair's still there. We just doing what we got to do to get it done.
And I mean, even like Slug, like Scarborough loves us gangsters and all that too. Like, how did that like movement form? And like, how was it, like, you know, even like forming like a movement in the city and gaining exposure from people like tapping in and all that? No,
That was me and my cousin Gunner one day sitting down thinking of a name for a group, and we're just, throwing names around, and Lil Cuz came with a name that I was like, yeah, we could use that, and we started building an acronym on it. So then we started assembling the team, grabbing some artists, Ross Thug, you know, you could say Curse, Crooks, Risky, Stretch Diesel, Elliot Scars, Bishop Bagante, Izzy the Kid, Camouflage. There's a lot of us, you know what I mean? Ken Smooth. And then we had guys on the background that weren't fully ready yet. And we're bringing those guys up. So we were thinking longevity at the time. And yeah, the thing kind of didn't go the way we wanted to. Egos got in front of people. And
yeah,
so we just had to do what we got to do.
yeah, man. It's like Bishop Agrante too, because like that's like an interesting name because he passed away just earlier this year. Like, what, rest in peace and all that
Rest
too.
in peace,
So
Bishop.
like, how did that connection like come about and all that? No,
Yeah, that came about when we were doing the slug movement, came out with the Listen Up video, and a lot of people started to get at us saying, yo, they want to be a part of it. And when Bishop linked one of my guys that were our friend at the time, and he goes, yo, he got to be on it. So everybody knew Bishop from the 106 in Park, he on BET. Like, I just give him a little run, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And when he came through with the crew and he started showing love and everything was connecting, he brought us on bigger events than what we even dreamed of, Like, he had us opening for Drake. He had us opening for Nas.
yeah,
He was bringing us on the big stage.
yeah, man. Because I mean with him too, like I know with like white artists like too, because I think people like were trying to transition into like, you know, listening to like white artists too, like seeing like what they can do. But I know like there was like a lot of like push back too because of like stereotypes and all that too because of the Eminems, the Paul Walls and all that too. But like even with someone like Bishop too, was he like very accepted like very like early on and like even to like now and all that too? Because
Yeah.
you know, being like a white guy that raps and all that too, like I know there's like a lot of like pushback here
Right.
and there.
Bishop's a Scarborough guy, you know what I mean? He always got his love and his respect in these streets. He never violated nobody on the level. He used to fuck with my cousin Crooks. Like they were like best friends and shit growing up. So it's only time till we met. And he always got a red light. He always got a green light. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was always good. Like no
Yeah.
red lights for that. Like,
Yeah, because I mean, with the music too, like I know he dropped like a lot of like dope releases like in the 2000s and like got the co-sign from 106 and Mark too, and a legend in Toronto too. Like everyone gave him like it's like flowers too. So
yeah, because you remember he was in that movie. He did the movie Narc.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in like big theaters. You know,
Yeah,
we're
man.
seeing a Scarborough guy on the stage, so we're like, yeah. And he was very serious with his craft. Like a lot of artists out here ain't even that serious. That's because he was
Yeah.
white or whatever. It wasn't a color thing. It was just hungry. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man. You know, it's like depending like on the skills. I mean, a lot of people even like gained like fame too. Like I mean, this kid named Chucky Atkins from like Jaden Fitch too. Like he was like doing this thing too. Now I think he's like doing more of the army stuff and all that too
Okay.
now. But like now he's like making like a wave with the music now. I mean, Hardest G back in the day too. Like I mean, he was like doing his like thing too. Like yeah, man, a lot of big names.
Yeah, a lot of people put in work. You know what I mean? Got to give them their flowers. You know, let them know.
True, true. And how did you react like when he like like passed away from cancer and like the stuff going on with the Eric Sermon thing and all that?
Yeah, and like that was heartbreaking for sure. Like we knew what we lost. You know, we lost a major piece of the puzzle that you say is irreplaceable. Like we're not gonna find another bishop in the city. You know, we're not even looking for another bishop. Let them know, like.
Yeah, man. R.I.P. Bishop either way, don't man.
Sure.
One interesting fact I think I told you like earlier is that you're actually the older cousin of the late Smoke Dog. So like rest in peace too. Like what was growing up with him like alongside his like other family members too? Because I know T-Jin is his cousin, 10K and like Ace are like his brothers and all that too. So I guess it's like all like revolved and all that. No.
Yeah, the bloodline runs deep. And like I told you earlier, there was Diamond X, then there was Slug, and then there's the Smoke Dog, and then there was a lot of other groups. Now we got Young Smoke, we got Thank You. A lot of artists that are coming out of the bloodline right now. So honest, it just keeps going bigger and better. And growing up on a level was like their sister, their older sister Camille, Cam, you know what I mean? Like that she was older than them, so she was more with us than they were. Cause when we were doing our thing, they're like real kids. Like we never thought they were gonna get this big, you know? Man.
Cause I remember like when Trap House was like booming too. Like I was like in university too, and like I know like he was like making a wave from that too. Like we're like same
Yeah.
age, like back in the day too. And I mean even with Moji and all that, like he it was like very big. He had connects with, like
He was
Jay
doing power
Cridge.
moves. He was
Yeah,
doing
man.
power moves that the city wasn't really seeing, like Canadian artists linked with American artists. That
Yeah.
and he dropped Trap House when he was probably what, 22,
I think he was 18 or
18.
19.
Like that
Yeah.
time he was real young doing these songs. He was
Yeah,
an
man.
advanced artist, like
Yeah,
you know.
man.
But
And I mean even because I know there was like like a certain area that took the life away from him and all that too. So like I don't know if you like you don't have like any resentment towards those people or any.
nah, yo, like it's such a crazy world, like you know what I mean. Like rest in peace, Kwasi. You know what I mean? Because that's another relative of ours too. You know, like I know his dad is my cousin's brother. You know what I mean? These are family members that we could say we never really got. Everybody didn't get to know each other on a level. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't
No.
know. And I mean, yeah, like rest in peace to Kwasi as well too. Like I know it is like kind of crazy with just the street life too, because you never like because like almost like everyone's like pretty much like related to them, like culture
I mean, like
wise.
on a cultural vibe, everybody's
Yeah,
related. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. Was there ever any tension between the West End and East End like back in the day too? Because I know some places it's like more like internal too, but like I know of like different areas too. There's like usually issues like in
But
certain areas.
well, back in the day it wasn't like this. Like back in the day, you could be from the West and like I was a tribe kid. You know what I mean? A tribe kid was assembled in the West, but a lot of East End mans were tribe kids, and then you had NBC that they were only West End guys, and then you had Eminems, and you had Looney Tunes, and you had all Vice Lords and La Familias, and it was not no black thing. It was really a gang thing back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It was real different than what it is now.
Yeah, man.
You could live in Rexdale, and your crew is a Scarborough crew, or you could live in Scarborough and your crew is a Finch crew. Like
Yeah,
it was
man.
just like an assembly. It was a
Yeah,
who
true.
knew each other, grew together.
Yeah,
Your cousins, your brothers, we're friends, bloom, bloom. And we respect what you could do for us, and
Yeah, man.
it was a different time.
Yeah. Because like I mean, even like an East End man, like going to like downtown, like just to see some shorties, or if you have like a gal like in the West End too, like it's important to
Drama
see if
could
you're like in
happen
the side and all
anywhere,
that.
right?
Yeah, man.
Drama could happen anywhere. Back in the day, they used to call the Eaton Center Acme Acres. You know what I mean? Cause there was like 200 tunes out there, like Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
A different whole town over there.
Yeah. I mean, Regent used to be like very wicked back in the day
Yeah,
too.
Regent Park for sure.
Parkdale, like I remember Parkdale used to actually be crazy too. Like I remember I heard some crazy stories about like
Parkdale's going on, of course.
yeah, man.
There's a lot of blocks out there downtown that go crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Worse than that go crazy.
And like the North End too, like with like Oakwood and Vaughn, the Eglinton West Line and all that
Eglinton
too.
West Line,
Yeah,
free
man.
Bizloke, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Real ones in the city, yo.
Yeah, man. Like the area's been crazy for a bit too, and like even if you go to like Jane and Finch, and, like Rexdale too, like it was like very crazy. Even they made a movie back in the day too, CTV, about Jamestown and all that too. I think called like Doomstown and all that too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know if you managed to like see that movie by any chance.
Yeah, I seen that one.
Yo, how'd you feel about it? Do you feel like it was like very like realistic and all that?
They had real stuff on it, and plus they make up some whatever they heard they gonna hear. Rest in peace, Twinkie. You know what I mean? A lot of people free the dogs. Free everybody locked up and got caught up in that. You can say that event that happened and took down a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like free the dogs. Everywhere. Like
yeah, man, a lot of crazy things like happened to with the Real Toronto DVD, like all that type of stuff too. Like you don't know what's gonna happen either way, but
for sure.
Yeah, man.
Real out here, brother. Like the music scene, the street scene, like it's real out here in Toronto, brother. Like
I don't know if you were like around the time like when G20 happened, like back in like 2010 and all that too, like how like Queen West was like pretty much like locked down and all that too with like the protesters and all that.
Yeah. But I remember those days when it was happening.
Yeah, I heard there were like some crazy moments where like windows were broken like certain ends too, and like I think I remember that time I was a kid. I was with my church group in Vaughan and all that too for some like church stuff and all that too. But I remember it was like hard to like even get to downtown and all that, like those times and all that.
Yeah, but it wasn't a joke. Like the city, certain people, like one of my friends, he was working at a hospital, and he couldn't even. They had to stop working on the hospital because the protest was going on so crazy.
Yeah,
there were things happening behind the scenes that people didn't know, that people were going to work and there's nooses like hidden in the bathrooms, and Black Lives Matter shit was going on. There was, it was really getting kind of berserk over here in the city,
Like I can go forward to like when Jane Creeper died and all that too. Like I remember, I think the police was like very like active. I think they were like still active like around this time too, because I think carding was like a fact too. They were arresting anyone too, because I think that was like the year of the gun and all that too. So
yeah. Those were a serious time back in the day.
Yeah, man.
The year of the gun, but there's years past that, right?
Yeah. So I remember, I think like the police, like they would like pull up to like a lot of these like hoods and all, like a lot of these like areas too, and like you wouldn't know if it's like an undercover, or you wouldn't know if it's like they would just come like flat in and all that too. So
they're a real bold back in the day, they're a real bold,
Yeah, man.
I mean, they're doing their job, you know what I mean, but they're using their power, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. No, exactly. Drake was actually like on Markham Road like back in the days too. So tell me more about that, and being like connected with like
Drake on Markham Road. Nah, Drake used to pull up and pick up 1-2 of the guys on Markham Road. Like if Drake lived on Markham Road, he would have been rolling with us. But we used to hook up because he knew 1-2 of my guys. Like I said earlier, Bishop Brigante, Elliot Skies, Hush. Those guys were his guys. So that's how he'll talk about those areas.
True. And I mean Hush too, because I remember like the lines like from back in the day too. Like, I think Chubbs got the weed, Hush got a gun and all that, and like CJ got my credit cards and all that too. So like even like connecting with Hush, who used to be like Young Tony back in the day, like how did that come about?
Yeah, Young Tony coming out of that Palmer spot, you know what I mean? And he was on another level before guys were on that level, and yeah, you gotta shout out artists like that. His bars are still hitting now, right?
Yeah, because I think like it led to like a new wave too with like Roni and all that too, Sick Peoples, like YH too, because I know like they're holding like Parma down and all that, and like
so they see things that they want to mimic, you know what I mean? Or come better or do better. But like on my side, I'm a Green Bay side guy, so you're gonna come over there and now you're gonna see like goods. artists coming up in the city. You're gonna see Trench Baby, young artists is coming up in our side. Doughboy, some guys coming up right now. That's how it goes.
Yeah,
Because they got to
exactly,
carry
too.
the torch. Like we said, the marathon continues,
Pretty
We ain't
much.
trying to out that.
Yeah. Because I know like different areas too, like they have like different codes, like different colors and all that too. Because with LA and New York, they're very like in deep with like the colors and all that too,
Mm.
blue, red, yellow, whatnot. Even like the hat like logos too. So was it like that like back in the hood, like back in the days too? Like if
Yeah,
you wear like a
yeah,
certain hat or
yeah.
if you wear a cer-
It was really like that, cuz. It was really Bloods and Crips shit out here. Like, if I'm telling you Trife and Looney Tunes, these guys are Bloods. If I'm telling you NBC and Eminem's and all those guys are Crips. Like, it was
yeah,
really a color gang war. You go to
for sure.
Carabana, Kitty's Carabana, you walk down that strip, you're gonna see guys in colors, you know what I mean? Like, people are really repping this shit
True,
back
true.
in the day. Like,
But if they wear like a certain hat and all that too, like would you they be in would someone be like in violation if they wear like a certain hat too? I know like in LA too, they're very strict on like the hat.
yeah. But back in the day, we didn't care about that. It was more bandanas, you know what I
More
mean? Or
bandanas, all right.
it wasn't even your block where you scream out your bandana and what you're repping.
So
That's
if you
90s. Like,
Mm.
I,
So if someone were to have like a green bandana or like a yellow bandana, like
and
they'd be
they're gonna
checking.
ask you, like, what are you? Because the colors go together. Like, you don't know. Like, it'll be like green. Green is more with the blue. You know what I
All
mean? Like,
right.
back in the day. So if a man has a green bandana, you're a crip. You know what I mean? A man has a black bandana, he's neutral, Like, it was different back in the day.
That's facts, man.
For sure.
How would like the clubs like back in the days too, like the nightlife, like in the city from like the '90s and 2000s and like
Oh man,
2010s?
it was way different. It was way different. Like to be young again. Like you're asking me how does it feel to be 18 going to a club that's crazy. Like back in the day there was a club called Government.
Yeah,
And I know the whole city know about that club. That club I think held like 1,000 people, 2,000 people, and it was rammed
yeah,
every night.
yeah, man.
Every night it was rammed. You know what I mean? Capacity was retarded.
Pretty much. I heard like Richmond was like crazy back in the days too, and like even if you go to like Scarborough, like, there were like
Yeah.
some like supper clubs like back in the days too, and like I remembered like the standard for like the shorty like back in the day too, because I remembered like shorties back in the day used to be like very very skinny, like like the whole like
Right.
Maya, Ashanti,
Right.
like Christina Milian and all that too. Now it's like you gotta have like some weight on you
We
to
got some weight, you know what I mean?
yeah.
'Cause back in the day, you could say there was clubs like Spectrum, there were clubs like Party Center, Concert Hall. Yeah, girls were always there looking right. They're looking right, but they weren't looking as thick as these girls growing up now.
Yeah.
It's a whole different time. There were girls that look like that. Don't get it twisted. But
Yeah. I think like the sex appeal like back in the day too with the shorties and all that too, like you had to be like very skinny, like supermodel type of body to
uh,
like even get the attention, no? Like
uh, I could say there were more skinnier girls than fit girls back in the day, or even fit girls, because there were girls that ran track, and everybody wanted a track girl back in the day, or somebody that got shape figure.
but like if a shorty had like donk, but like back then too, like or bati or like was it something that was like the appeal back then, or what is it more of a now
Yeah,
type thing?
it was always an appeal file. A girl with a fat ass, big tits, a girl with no tits, no ass. Come on, cause like
True.
you know what she got. Like
Yeah.
as long as she got that,
True.
you know what I mean. But a
True.
pretty face was always probably number one.
Very
Number
true.
one thing was a pretty face.
Like the Melissa Ford and all that too, because I mean Melissa, she's from the city and all that too. Like
Yeah.
now,
Flemo side, right?
I think so too. She went to York U and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah, yeah.
I think she's Flemo side.
True. But it was like the Melissa Fords, like the Keisha, Shantae's, like
Mm.
Julie Blocks and all that too, like Mishy's and all that.
Yeah, fit girls back in the day.
Um,
Oh yeah.
That's fine
Come
as
on,
well.
cuz. Come on, cuz.
True. Yo, were they kind of strict on like guns and things like that back in the day too with the clubs and all that?
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
or like like people had to like sneak in like certain things and all that.
I think back in the day was a little more serious than now. Like back in the day, if they suspect you're going into the club, they're gonna tell you take your shoes off. Like real shit. Like right now, when you go in the club, you put up your hand, they may take your shoes off. You're
Or
like,
like
what? Are you serious?
like take your bandana off or take
They
a
think you're
certain
carrying
hat and
something in
things
your
like.
shoes. They think you got weapons in your shoes. You're gonna get the whole third-degree search down, but then they're gonna say some weird shit like, take your shoes off.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Because I think back in the day too, like I think this is like a couple years back. A man tried to sneak a piece to the club, shot it
Oh,
up,
for
and
sure,
like that
for
club
sure.
got shut down and all that. So
You know how it goes, man. Everybody's trying to play that role. They want to be more safe than everybody, or how that go, man.
True. Like I remembered, I think I don't know if you there were like some iconic shows back in the day too, like Biggie in Toronto. I remember 50 used to be like in Toronto back in the days too and all that. And I think I had a crazy story I think about like Young Buck like I think in Western Canada, I think he got like involved with some native people and all that too. But I heard
DMX. Couple
DMX
guys
and
came
Richard
to the
Parks.
city, yeah.
Yeah, man. I think also like Most Def like in Toronto too. Like I remembered
Stuff came out here.
there was a moment he came at like some certain festival too, and like I think Friday told the story too. Like he went and married some shorty like at a club and all that, and like
one night stand, man.
Shit, bro.
Yeah,
A lot of crazy stuff and
a
all
lot
that
of
too.
stories go out here, man.
Have you ever interacted with any like American or like any like people that came to Toronto like back in the days too?
Oh,
And
yeah.
like were there like some crazy stories and all that?
Everything went good. Only one crazy story ever happened that comes to mind, you know. Like one time we brought Purple City Bird Gang out here.
All right.
And we got J.R. Ryder. And, you know, there was issues with him that he did business with guys in the city, you know, 20 Below and these guys. And they paid for a verse, but the verse was already on a song. And the guys want their money back. But we ain't involved in that. We doing our SLUG movement. We doing it.
True.
We bring these guys to Oshawa. And then we had a connection with them, this girl named Lele. And Lele was like their A&R guy out here. So she wanted us to do a song with them. So the song, we're going to call it Scarborough to Harlem.
Yeah.
So we made a deal on the song, numbers. The numbers came out. We were like, all right, we got J.R. Ryder. He's a young up-and-coming dip-up artist. So we're like, all right, we got him for $2,000. Okay. Boom, we brought him to Purple City Burger. I made them do their thing. I saw all these guys are there, and then now we upstairs talking, and I guess maybe his name was a little buzzing more now since we talked.
Yeah.
So now he just threw a higher number on us. He's like, yo, oh shit, nigga, now it costs us 10. Like, you out of your fucking mind, my nigga. You crazy. And the guy got like, you know, a little disrespectful, but you know, we in Toronto, know your role, keep it calm. We ain't gonna ruin our shit and ruin out the festival, the venue today. So, but after that, there was one day that almost got crazy, you know? It almost got crazy.
Yeah, I heard Dipset's name back in the day. Was it like back in the day? Wasn't like even like good like in London too. Like I remember that whole like London incident too, where I think they were supposed to pay something to like those like London guys too, and like they had to wear these like chains for I think reimbursement, and like it was like a whole like kidnap type thing and all that too, like Jewel's camera.
A lot of fugazi stuff was going on, man. Like they must think that Canadian people were soft and you could take advantage of us. And nah, we real people, you know what I mean? We gonna handle the business, yo. Like,
yeah, that's facts, man.
We gonna handle the business, yo. Like, that's it.
Yo, even like the mayors too, like because I know there's like Mel Lastman, David Miller, and then like the premiers, it was like I think like Paul Martin's like who else? Trying to think the other like Harper and all that too. So like those times
the politician stuff, right?
Pretty much. Was it like crazy like back in the day too, like with those guys?
The politicians, like I won't even lie, fam. Like we didn't really watch that stuff, you know. We were happy to go to Mel Lastman Square and perform on the stage. You know what I mean? Like Ron Harper.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't really watching politics like we watch it as grown folks now. We like, you know, we still ain't voted because they plan. The agenda's their agenda. You know what I mean?
Pretty much.
Who's gonna sit in the chair? Gonna sit in the chair. You know,
yeah, man, exactly too. Even like with some like Toronto rappers too. Like, have you ever had like some crazy or wild moments with some like rappers like back in the day too and all that?
Like no problems, issues. Come on, fam. Like, yeah, things happen back in the day, but it always gets resolved. You know what I mean?
Sure. All right, man. You know, you actually managed to work with like a lot of like people like back in the day too, like with like Risky G, Prince Beats, Scrooge, Skrilla, and like Louis V. Shooter. So like, how did those like link up, and how was it like like connecting with those people?
Yeah, like Louis V. Shooter and Prince Beats those are my camera guys. You know, those are the guys behind the scene make the shit look right. Like Risky G's my little cousin. You know what I mean? So he always involved in music shit. Scrooge Skrilla's one of my top dogs. You know what I mean? And then we got like T. Grams, you know, Scandalous. You know, I work with a lot of artists in the city. You know, Camouflage, Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
you know. like I said earlier, me and Bish got signed, me and King Smooth got signed,
True.
artist Rasta. I go on all day,
True.
cause like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
man, that's facts.
A lot of connections with people in the city.
Yeah, man. Like I heard, like I mean Prince too. Like I heard that there was a crazy story because they brought like Tug of War like to the city just recently too, and like I think they had like some issues with like Freddie Fame and all that too. So
I attended the show.
how was that like, man? Because I know I heard it was pretty interesting from like those ends too with Price and Prince and Tug of War and all that.
Yeah, some issue happened. I don't know what happened. You know what I mean? I can't respond to that because I'm not part of that. I wasn't part of that. So I heard what's happening. As long as my dogs are good, everybody good. They breathing, you know what I mean? He got his side of the story, they got their side of the story. It really don't concern me, you know what I mean? So
True. Well,
I know Prince and Price, I know they ain't really watching it, you know what I mean? They ain't really watching that shit. They on to the next chapter, a new book.
yeah, man, Hondo P, man. Like this day, like a day in the studio. Like, how's that like for you? Like, I know, like, studio life. It is like pretty interesting too. Like, being in the studio, like recording in the booth, like writing your thing and all that too. So, how's that kind of like and all that?
Then in the studio is fantastic, man. You come prepared or you don't come prepared. As long as you're in the vibe to put music down or listen to music, it's always gonna be a good energy, you know.
True, man. Like, do you have like? I know like some people too. They'll bring like a lot of people to like the shorties, the mandem, and all that too, or like just a few people and all that too. So, how's that kind of like too? Do you have to have like a big crowd to kind of get the session going?
No, uh, I just do what I do, cause you know what I mean. There could be a crowd there. There could be me and by myself or with one person. Like, I'm here to do the mission. The mission is to get the music down, laced, and onto something else. You know.
Yeah, man. Do you get like in a certain element too? Like, do you have to be like a little bit like wavy too with the licks, or like get like lifted to kind of
Nah,
make some good things and all
me
that?
in the studio. If I'm paying for my shit to go in there, and I know we on quality time money, no joking around right now. We probably smoke weed, but we ain't drinking like before the studio, cause you know that shit is gonna affect the way you're saying things. Your tongue gets heavy. You're gonna have to go back to the studio the next day and re-record all this shit. So you might as well go in there on a sober mind, a sober vibe, and then do your thing. If you want to turn up, I guess it's gonna be one of those nights, you know, like a
Yeah,
freestyle night or have fun with the gang. Or you're gonna say crazy stuff, but I'd
yeah,
rather
man.
go sober minded, smoke my weed, chill. After I do my shit, yeah, then I start drinking and celebrating, and my tongue could get heavy after that. You know what I mean?
True. Do you have like a main studio that you pull by? Like I know there's like Major Music, Midnight. There's some spots like downtown, like Links Music and all that too.
Nah, right now I just work with good engineers at different places. You know, like I got a guy Gibbs. You know
All
what I
right,
mean? I got DJ Pompey,
all right,
Merciless.
man.
I mean, anywhere they're at, we could work.
Okay, man. That's facts. In terms of like the whole like idea of like street code and all that too, like what was that like back then versus now? And do you ever feel like there's like a lack of like ethics like within the new generation versus like the old generation, and all that?
Oh, for sure. The essence is fading away. You know, it's fading away faster than it should be. But yeah, back in the day, it was more of a love vibe. Everybody's involved. Nowadays, everybody's more social, like antisocial. I mean, you know, doing their own thing.
Yeah.
You know,
It's like social media, TikTok, like all that type of stuff too, and all that.
yeah.
I mean, we're seeing like a new era where I think people are using like social like media too much. Like back in the day, like no one wanted to
Nobody
be on
had
camera and
that
all that.
shit. You can't be showing all this stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, it's like clout chasing. You know,
True. Yeah. So like not to like reference like anyone from Toronto, but like for a person like a Whack 100 or like Trap Lord Ross and all that too, like how would they be like dealt with like back in the day, like in Toronto and all that too, if they were to do like some things like that?
they wouldn't be lasting. Right? They wouldn't be ever. They couldn't come from here and ever say that shit. And if they ever came here and said that shit,
Yeah.
they're on some like some. Nobody could see them, so they could do whatever.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
because like I mean like a lot of them too, they do like a lot of like paperwork party type stuff and all that. Others it's like they get in too deep in like some of the street stuff too, even though there is
Music.
another culture like within the music and all that too. So I feel like we're seeing like like a new generation where those people are getting respected than people who actually paved the way from the streets, like
Well,
became more humble, like like never did anything of foul nature and all that type of stuff too. So it's the times, so
I believe that, fam. I see the change. The fake shining, the real's dull. we see this, fam. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think Boondocks even predicted this too with some of the content too, because I remember like Boondocks like back in the day too, where they had like a lot of like episodes to where you would see how you see like a lot of like men being like effeminate too, and
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
people like getting
Changing.
into bad habits and all that too, like the whole like not respecting MLK or Malcolm X and all that too. So we're seeing the times and all that.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure. They're ignoring a lot of things that they're supposed to be focused on or even remember, and they don't even care about that no more. The eras have changed, the times have changed, fam.
yeah, man.
For sure.
Yeah, no, that's facts too. Even 'cause like I don't want to like say like too many names and all that too, but like you'll see like men being more on like social media and all that too, like like gossiping or like
Yeah.
saying way too much than the actual like yelldom and all that
Because
too, and like you see like how it's an effect on like how we define like like the mandem or how we define like manhood and all that too. So it is like kind of crazy.
yeah, cause a man on the internet or a man on the social media can say whatever he wants. You know what I mean? You miles and miles away. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? You Twitter finger gangster right now. Like, you
yeah,
ain't scaring nobody. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You showing fake replica guns like, ah, shoot
Should
you,
you?
nigga. Like,
Yeah,
all that shit, that come on, cuz that's some clout chasing, fake ass shit. Go jump in the ring, man. Like, if
yeah,
that's
man.
the case, don't fish. Like,
Yeah. Like
uh,
box it out, either way, man.
yeah,
Nah, that's facts, man.
or whatever it's gonna be, but just keep it 100 and keep it rack. Like,
Yeah, man. No, that's facts,
the
bro.
social media will get you in a lot of trouble. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. No, that's facts. To dive deep more on like music and all that too, because you've dropped like bare like mixtapes, like back in the day too. Like I know you had like I think the Bossy mixtape too. You had
Yeah.
Canadian like currency and all that, and like a whole lot of like other stuff too. So like, what was that vibe like? When releasing like those
Yeah.
projects? No.
Yeah, we put out the East Side Early 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We put out a couple mixtapes there. Then we put out the Canadian Currency, the Black City mixtape, the SLUG mixtape. A lot of projects we do. Like, we try to complete the projects. Like, right now, the new project is Endangered Species. We're working on the Own Lane mixtape for next year. A lot's going on right now. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, man. And as far as like like even with that, like, are you more inclined to drop like the endangered species? Like that's like the album, right?
Mhm.
So is that like the like debut album, or is that like more
No,
like
that's an album that me and my family members, the crew's coming together, and we're deciding to get artists in the city. Every song's got to be clean. You know what I mean? It's not nothing for no violence or nothing, none of those type of
okay?
energies we're trying to bring to it. We're just making a positive mixtape for the community. You can play in front of your mom. You can play in front of your
Sure.
girl.
Yeah, man.
Then we got the Own Lane project. Then we got other projects. We might do the Canadian Currency Part 2. We got the Droops Holiday. We got the East Side Early
Yeah,
7 coming. We
yeah,
just
man.
threw out the new single like 2 days ago. You're gonna see that buzzing on probably the Flow radio station, a
True,
couple
true.
stations
Yeah,
that's buzzing on, a couple people playlists. Look out for I'm a Problem, Droops Holiday, the Double O, aka Goods. Look out for this stuff right now. I'm a Problem. Go get that on Spotify.
and OP, man. Are there like any like big names that are gonna be like on the project from the city and all that too?
Oh
Like,
yeah, we're trying to get a couple different names. We're trying to get Young Smoke on it. We're trying to get Pyrex on it. We're trying to get names that people aren't familiar for us to be working projects with them. You know what I mean? We're trying to put somebody different in our branch right now and build our project.
yeah. So I think I remembered. I think Dub J had a ting back in the day too. I think with like Bizlo and I think Roni and like all
Mhm.
those people where they talked about like stopping the gun violence too. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hopefully like an anti-gun violence song like would work out.
Yeah,
Like
something like that. You know what I mean? Something like that, maybe a little more advanced. You know what I mean? Different
mhm,
artists, same plan, same mission, but a whole different movie. You know what I mean?
true. And that's dropping more so like next year or like the end of the year and all that.
The year's about done. We November right now, December right now. Yeah, so next year we about to drop that one. It's already, you could go online and go check out. We have a song right now buzzing on the Spotify, on the Apple Music, on the iTunes. It's Who Gets Your Love, me and Prodigy Prodigy Prodigal Zoe. We about to throw that one out. About to shoot a video for that one. Me and him just did the real ones.
All right, man.
So look out for Prodigal Zoe. He one of these artists that, he on the buzz up right now. Young boy Ant-Man, he on the buzz up right now. Like,
Yeah,
here's to the streets. Y'all gonna see what's going on, man.
yeah, man. That's facts. I'll definitely like tap that into and like check it
Yeah.
out like on all platforms too. Do you ever feel like with mixtape they have like more of a long lasting effect than albums, or do you think like it's like kind of more like the opposite and all that?
I think an album's gonna leave more of an impression because those are gonna be all originals. You know what I mean? Different producers, different artists, but it's all original. A mixtape is more any a YouTube beats or anybody could jump on this. You know what I mean? The
Yeah, man.
album probably has more of an oomph, but mixtapes still keep you relevant, keep you going. You know, like I like to rap on sometimes industry beats
Yeah,
because you come different on it.
yeah,
But
no, exactly.
a main project would be like an EP or an album from you or
Right.
a single, like
Yeah,
like
true. So I remember like the mixtape era, like back in the days too, like with the 2010, well, early 2000s, 2010s, and all that too. Like Wayne was dropping like some crazy shit back in the days too, like Dipset, 50 Cent. I mean, even now too, like you've had like some people like Wiz Khalifa, friggin' French Montana, Max B, like they were dropping like crazy things and all
what's
that, you
up?
know.
Yeah, you're right.
So
You're right.
like that was a kind of like a wave back in the day too, and like even like what the saddest thing is like with Dat Piff, like like not working anymore too,
Mhm.
because that was the source to
That
getting
was the
like
source to
like
getting the new music. You're
yeah,
right.
man,
Mixtapes did leave
yeah,
an
true, true,
impression out here.
true. Were you using like more like Dat Piff back in the day too, or was it
Yeah,
more
I
like
was more that piff.
oh cool? So like you were like raking in like a lot of like downloads and things like that
Yeah,
and all
not
that.
download Dipset, LimeWire. You know what I mean? We're
True,
on that
true.
shit. You know about
Yeah,
LimeWire?
yeah,
Come on,
LimeWire,
man.
yeah, man.
Young boys don't know about that,
Yeah, man.
right?
Because like LimeWire, like that was like a way back in the day too. Audio Mac. I remember. I think niggas were like dropping some things like on like
Anything.
Facebook and
Yeah,
like
you download
Two Dope
anything.
Boys and all that too. Like you can like get like a lot of those like mixtapes from like the blog sites and all
Yeah,
that too.
you
So
get anything.
yeah, man.
You can't get that now.
Yeah, man.
Nowadays, you got to pay for music.
Yeah. And like when I was like preying through the Spotify too, because I think with some of the songs that were from I think the like mixtape and all that too, like they would like drop more like singles rather than putting the stuff like
Project together, yeah. They'll drop a single more
yeah,
than an EP or a project.
yeah. So was it like like kind of like a process, like even putting like a lot of the stuff on streaming and all that?
Yeah, remember back in the day, there was no streaming.
Yeah.
Like a man asked me one day, yo, if Tupac could get streamed when he was alive, could you imagine?
Yeah,
Or
he would have like
Biggie,
laughed it out and all that too. Yeah,
right?
yeah, man.
There's none of streaming back then. Now you can stream him, but when he was alive, it was a different time.
Yeah.
So he probably would have been the Drake numbers,
Yeah.
or the Kendrick
Yeah.
Lamar's. Like, yeah.
Exactly, and like the money like would have been like some too. Like I mean, some people like catapulted like with like YouTube and like World Star too. Like I know World Star was like more for the streets and all that, but like YouTube, like people were using YouTube to their advantage too.
Yeah.
Like friggin' like Joe Budden and all that too. Like that was like a crazy wave and all that too. Like
Yeah.
with his videos. This is 50.com. Like I know he was like dropping like a lot of stuff too and all that. So
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, man.
Those were the days, man. The
Exactly.
Spit DVDs, the Smack DVDs. There's a
Yeah.
whole different era of
True.
music. Those ain't around no more, right?
Exactly.
The
fam.
Shay Davises
Yeah,
and
man.
the
I think
murder. Yeah.
yeah. I think some people were using the Smack DVDs for like new stuff now too, but it's not like the same where you could like actually get the DVD from the store and like watching it, seeing like all the shit and all that too, because everything's like too like filtered and all that, and
Yeah.
you never know who's gonna watch and all that too. So yeah,
It was different back in the day. Totally.
exactly, man. Even with the music that you make now versus before, do you ever feel like there's like a significant like change like for like the better and all that too?
Yeah, because you're trying to keep up to the time, right? So to keep up with the time, you may have to water down your stuff or come a little more basic than just bars, because you'll go over their head nowadays.
Yeah, man. 'Cause I know there's like the whole idea of like cancel culture and all that too. Like you say like the wrong things too, even though it used to be like normal back in the day too. Like people would like pre on that. So
Right.
yeah, man. It's been a little bit crazy and all that too. Even to like dive deep more onto like the Toronto Canadian like music scene too. Like how do you feel about it like at the moment too? Do you feel like there should be some changes on the direction of where the scene should go to, or do you ever feel like it's like fine the way it is?
My honest opinion about that is I think it's going perfect, man. Like, Toronto's making the scene. A lot of people are noticing every artist that's coming out of here, and they're taking notice, and there's underground coast signs going on. There's underground American shows going on, and Toronto's artists are really making noise out here, like worldwide shit. Like, so I like the direction that's going. We may be losing our essence, or
Yeah, man.
we may be not where we want to be, and there's better stars. But for us to be being noticed worldwide, I love it. Like,
Yeah, man.
who gets it, gets it. You know, like, I like that Drake is out there and the world recognize him as one of the best artists of this decade. Young artists, Tory Lanez, you know, like artists from our city that are making noise. Come on, yo, we up there with the Americans, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, because I know Sav is like doing like
Yeah,
it's like
Sam
singing in Toronto
4X,
and all
like,
that.
yeah.
Tory was doing a thing back in the day too, but I mean the whole like trial shit, like that kind of fix up.
Big up Team East, you
Yeah,
know what I
man.
mean? They making noise out here in the building, DZ,
Yeah,
KS, Sav, yeah, the city's making
yeah,
noise right
man.
now, fam.
Yeah, Paris Richards, freaking
You know what I mean?
like Smiley too, like all these
Off
people,
the
man.
radar,
Yeah,
yo, a lot
man.
of people in the city are making noise right now, like way than before. Like, if you want to go back 10 years to now, like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Like, of course, we love how Robin Banks
Yeah,
came.
true.
We like the Presses. We like the other artists on the west side, the
true.
Pyrex. We like these artists that
Yeah,
are coming
man.
and repping our city, yo.
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, like I felt like I kind of hated like the way like how I think JD era like never like projected and all that too because I remember he was like doing like big waves like back in the day too. Friggin' I know there were some other artists back in the day too like they were like doing some waves. I remember this guy named Shaq is dope that was like dropping some bars and all that too. Like I remembered friggin' like Heartless G was like doing this thing
Harley
too and
G
all
was
that.
going on, Sam G was going on. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
man.
artists out here
Yeah,
that were
man.
making noise. Like Honcho Hoodlum, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
man.
He gave like the artists that you gotta just give their respect. J Neat, you know, Freedom Man that are
Yeah,
locked up
man.
right now, spitting bars. Like,
True, man.
yeah.
Yeah, Cardi too. Like I remember the Cardi era was like the craziest era too. Like when Dangerous hit, I think it was like kind of like over for Toronto, like on how we would have like projected to. Because I remember like that whole like Akon song too. Like
Yeah.
everyone's like tapping in, you know.
Those days, what were they? The Circle.
Yeah,
The
man.
Circle. What was that? Cardinal,
I think
Daniel,
Socrates.
Socrates,
Yeah, man.
Clear, Julie Black.
Yeah,
Come on, fam. They had
yeah.
that's where it's
A whole
the
household name of
pavement.
like legends and all that too.
Yeah,
Like
the paved
that
way,
was like
you
the
know?
thing too.
They paved the way. Like they didn't pave the way, but they made an impact
The
in the
Rascals,
game. Yeah,
like
the Rascals.
pretty much, man.
But they from
Freaking
Vancouver,
Jellystone.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but Canada.
yeah, man.
Yeah, Canada was making noise
Yeah,
out here.
there was
You know what I
this
mean?
guy named I think Bad
Maestro
News Brown.
West. There's
Exactly, man.
yeah, there's names out here. What's his name?
Bad News Brown from Montreal and all that too. Like he was like doing his like thing too and all that. Friggin' I know there were some other people like back in the day too that were like kind of like doing their thing too, like Swollen Members and all that. So I remember
Yeah.
like Mad Child and this kid named like Mocha
Yeah,
Only
you
were like
call
doing
names.
the
You call names right now. Those are good names right there.
Yeah,
like
man.
even the Montreal scene is turning up right now.
Yeah, man.
Right? Like back in the day, like you said, like you just named one artist from Montreal. And I'm like, there's so many artists right
Yeah,
now
man.
coming out of there. You like, see?
Yeah, man.
Kinda.
Yeah, I mean, right now I think it's like going to a different direction where I think it's like more of the indie pop stuff and all that too. But with rap, like you still see like a lot of like big names like doing their thing too and all that, and like it's getting up from there too. I think everyone's like kind of getting the recognition in certain formats where I think the recognition's gonna go like way too deep, and like I think like everyone's gonna get like shown like on a dope light and all that too. And like, you know,
Like, what if you could take away audio tunes from these new age rappers? You know what I mean? It'd be a whole nother world.
Yeah, man.
Right? They'll have to come with bars.
Yeah, man.
Right?
And like I mean the platforms are becoming bigger too. Like I mean with the blog pages and like you know the media platforms too. Like you do definitely see like how the trajectory of like people being showcased on a bigger level. Like it's like working for the better too. So
You're right. You're right.
it's like the effect that it's like working like either way and all that too. So it's amazing to see and all that, you know. So
it's moving, getting better than where we coming from. You know, it's only getting better, man.
yeah, man. Are there like some artists that you're like currently tapping in with like right now, like basically that like you're tuning into, like listening to and all that, you know?
Hey, the new artist that I'm listening to in these times is probably NBA YoungBoy, Third. Like at least at the era for the young boy type shit, like top guys. Those are the type of artists I listen to. Other than that, I more listen to like the old school rappers, you know,
Okay.
like Mobb Deep, Tupac. I still listen to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause I know like Mobb Deep like dropped some stuff too recently too, like Havoc and all that too. So that's dope. Ghostface was like dropping I think some new stuff too.
Yeah,
So
Jada Kiss, D Block, Styles P, like
yeah, man.
be honest, like
Yo, how do you feel about these like rappers becoming like podcasters like right now to like Joe and Jada, Drink Champs, like all these like people?
Honest, I can't knock it because you see those guys that are doing those type of podcasts, they got so much respect out of every rappers that the rappers want to talk to you. You know what I mean? People told me I should do podcasts because I know so much artists is. I'm a real nigga in these streets. They know me worldwide on our level where we at, and they're gonna love to talk and connect and come one to one like how you out here, fam. You know what I mean? You out here doing it for us. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man.
So a lot of people are gonna want to come talk to you and be like, "Yo, fam, you're a real nigga. Well, we could do this. We
Yeah,
could
to connect either way, man. Like to connect, communicate, and all that too. And like it's
Real
only up from there, you know. Yeah, man. Regardless,
people
you know.
shit.
Exactly, man.
Nothing to talk real, right?
Yeah, you know, you speak your piece, you communicate, like showcase on like a wider level too, and works out either way, you know. So,
We ain't acting, we ain't joking. Keep it 100.
exactly, fam. 100p, you know. I know we're actually about to close off right now, but as far as like the end of the year and all that, and like for like 2026, like what do you have like going on in terms of like any music?
For me, nigga, come on, cuz you ain't gotta say no more. We got the new project, Droops Holiday, coming out. We got the singles coming out. Look out for I'm a Problem. Look out for Body. You know what I mean? Look out for the next Endangered Species project, the EP coming out right now. Look out for Schools of Hard Knocks. You know, School of Hard Knocks, go tap into that on Spotify, iTunes. We got a lot going on, you know what I mean? And yeah, we got the projects coming out early this year. So right now, before the year ends, we giving you out 2 singles. And then next year, we dropping the EP, an album, and a lot more singles, you know what I mean? Some young artists we got building their crew up. Yeah, nonstop work. Cut.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a break. I make the young boys do their thing. So I mean, singles.
Yeah, you have to, man. Yeah, not exactly. You know, like I don't think the young bulls are like dropping the stuff right now. I mean, Sav dropped like I think one of the craziest like projects of the year and all that too. Sav versus like Sav for Rex too. Like that's like kind of like a crazy one to Team East and all that too. I think Bugs just dropped like a couple EPs like some time back. Yeah, man. I mean, Scarborough's going crazy.
And like out for Twy, he going hard. You know what I mean? A lot of artists in the city are making noise right now, man.
Yeah, man. Western stuff too. Like I know like some people from the West are like dropping some stuff too. Like the Haji Bastos. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we call artists' names all day, cause you know what I mean. The governors are making noise in the city. Like, come on, cause a lot of people are making noise out here. We respect every man, repping this shit, rep our city. You guys know the slogan: respect all, fear none. And let's go, man. Toronto in the building, man.
Exactly, man. Yo, Droops, you know, was dope having you on, man. Like, great conversation, great, like, energy and all that, too. Like, learning more about you, learning more about the Toronto scene back in the day, from the roots until now. Like, you know, learned a lot, man. Like, I know it was interesting to know more about these, like, stories from the club lives, from the street life, from SLUG, from much more and all that, too, from the releases, from your own stuff too, and like you know, you're a legend in your own way, man. And it's amazing to see that you know you're growing to this day and all that too. You're growing to a very great age where you know you could like shed light for the youth and all that too to get them engaged with the music to keep going to because like not a lot of people can make it. You know, like a lot of people are either dead or in jail and all that too, and like they can't speak their piece from there. And all that.
Right? Or they gave up.
Exactly. But you're here to this day, like living healthy. Just doing your thing too, working with these like young bucks and all that too, and definitely like amazing to see too. And like you know, I wish like nothing but the best for your journey. Like you were in Players Ball too, like you know, being awarded, like showcased like in the best way possible and all that too. And definitely like amazing to see and all that too, man. And I wish like nothing but the best for you, your career, for your like engagements in business and all that too. So only way from up, you know. So
respect that, cuz.
Exactly, fam.
I respect that.
Yeah, man.
Blessed night, nigga.
Exactly,
you know. This, you know what I mean? Appreciate what y'all doing for us, fam.
Exactly,
Keep it going. On lane, endangered species, man.
Exactly, man.
Get at us, man.
Endangered species coming soon, you know? So, yo, this is Josh, also known as Yashu. Another episode of the TLOY Talks, too. A legendary podcast with the legend Droops Holiday, like in the building and all that, too. Real Scarborough legend, real Scaborough OG and all that. Definitely, like, tap into all the stuff, the content, everything as well, too. Definitely check it out on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Buzzsprout, much more. Definitely check out Droops' music on all platforms, whether it's from the mixtape days, whether it's from the new stuff right now. Like, definitely check out the YouTube content. Definitely check out the Spotify, Apple Music. Save it like when if you can and all that. You know, like definitely tap in with the bro and all that. Has dropped a lot of bangers like here and there too, and like it's gonna be up from there and all that. So definitely like tap in from there. So yo, this is Josh, also known as Yashu, with Droops Holiday, signing off. You know, fam.
Holiday season has begun.